We're joined with Markus Schulz here in Ottawa. We met and chatted in 2004 for the very first time, and we've talked on and off before from those areas. Played parties of mine in Miami in the late 2000s. I recently sort of retired from the radio side of things, but brought it back. It's nice to have Amplified Radio Presents back with you on as our first guest. Your radio show is still continuing. Is radio still an essential part to you as a DJ, producer, and overall what you do for music?
Well, yeah, absolutely. First of all, that's how I really developed my love for music, is through the radio. I started off, listening to the radio in my room. I remember, I moved to the USA when I was 13. And I lived in Germany up until then. And when I moved to the USA, I didn't speak English very well. So I spent a lot of time in my room just listening to the radio, getting lost in the music. So for me, radio is very important because that's kind of how I developed my love for the music. And I always said that I hope that one day I would be able to kind of like do the same thing, be able to touch people through the radio as well. So not only is it important for me just, as an artist and all that stuff, but it's important for me as, for my soul to be able to do what I do on the radio. Because for me, I just think about what it was like being in my room and just listening to every lyric, every melody, everything that, analyzing all the sounds and just getting lost in it. It got me through some really dark times. It's very important for me in that way.
For the show, do you know how many episodes you're on?
No, and that's the thing. I never numbered my episodes because sometimes during Winter Music Conference or during special times, we do, 2, 3, 4 shows. For me, it was I never wanted to number them like that. Now everybody numbers them. And for a while there, I was like, oh, should I go back and number them? But no, you know what? I never really thought about numbering them because, it's, I don't know. I just... I come kind of from a traditional sense of radio where it's like, hey, you know what? Just listen to me every week, and let's every week meet at this time and enjoy the music. And some music when you hear it for the first time, there's something special that happens. So I hope that people just kind of listen live and kind of enjoy the journey live. But all the episodes are online. I'm sure that somebody out there has probably figured out how many episodes of Global DJ Broadcast we've done. But like I said, I've never really numbered them just because that's not where I came from.
You once told me that you had a goal when you were done with everything to start your own radio station. Mm-hmm. Is that still in the back of your mind?
Oh, absolutely. I remember, like I said, when I first moved to the USA, I used to listen to the radio. And I lived in Boston, outside of Boston for a while, and I listened to a radio station named Kiss 108. And the guy that was the program director there, Sonny Joe White, he was so influential on me, and he programmed the entire day, and it was just the way that station sounded and the way that station became part of the community and everything. That's what really inspires me. It's not just it's great doing it for a radio show. But to have a radio station where you're programming the music and programming the DJs and things like that, you can really kind of make your radio station something special, I think. The soundtrack for people's lives. I always say, the way people feel when they wake up in the morning and the way they feel in the evening time are totally different. And I always think that the music should reflect that. With my radio show, it's rather difficult to do because, the first time it airs on the East Coast, it's noontime. In Europe, it's 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And some of the stations air it on Saturday night, Friday night, whatever. So it's kind of difficult to, kind of program the timing of it, or music to the specific time. But having a radio station, that's what I would do, is program it to, in the morning time, you would definitely the music would have a different feel than at nighttime. And not only that, but on a Friday night, Saturday night, the music would sound totally different or feel different than it would like on a Sunday morning. There's something special about Sunday mornings after the chaos of a Saturday night.
You're playing tonight in Ottawa. You're playing tomorrow in Waterloo. You've played Toronto multiple times, and there's a bit of a difference between them. Is there a big sense in how you change what you're playing for the different venues here in Canada, or is it still just you and what you do?
Well, first things is I read the crowd. I go with it into each gig with the mindset of I'm going to do what it is that I do. I want to get twisted. I want to get weird towards the end of my set. But sometimes you know that the crowd's not up for it for whatever reason, whether it's the city's not ready for it or the mood isn't there, whatever. So the idea is always to do something wild and crazy. But the nice thing about playing here tonight and tomorrow night is both of them are near Montreal and Toronto, near cities that are very dear and have a lot of fans are that kind of know what I'm all about. So I'm going into it expecting to play like I would in Montreal or Toronto. Maybe not as twisted, but I'm definitely hoping to get there.
Groups like Above and Beyond are known for playing their sets kind of song by song. Your sets with Ferry as New Wave Punks are very open, and you kind of really read the crowd, and you have no idea where it's going from what I've heard. How would you describe more of your solo sets? Is it somewhere in between, or is it somewhere else along one of those extremes?
Well, like I said, it depends on the city. The idea is like, there's certain songs that the crowd expects me to play. They expect to hear, and there's certain songs that I want to play because a lot of the music that I produce, or all of the music that I produce, is very dear to me. So I want to play it. I make it for my sets. So the idea is there's certain songs without a doubt you're going to hear. I have certain songs that I know go together really well, and so there's like parts of the set where it's like 2-3 songs blend together so perfectly that how could you not put those 3 together like that in each show. But that being said, I come from the old school days of DJing, when I was a resident DJ, and just kind of reading the crowd, reading the night, and just going with the flow. And that's what makes it so much fun. It's like, I don't know how these guys can do a 1-hour set and go and do that 1 hour and a half set, 150, 200 times a year. Like, really, I would lose my mind if I did that. That to me, that's just not what I got in this scene for, I need something that challenges me a little bit more. So just going into a gig, having having very good knowledge of your music and the music that you have available to play, and then putting it together in the way that it fits the crowd, that's what I'm all about.
So the first time we met, you told me how you had just flown over from Europe to Canada and to Gov for one night, turned around and flew back. Does that still happen, or has that changed in the time now from the last 12 years?
Oh, yeah. Of course, that still happens. As a matter of fact, I haven't been home in Miami since August 21st. So this is actually the last weekend before I finally get back to Miami. But during that time, I was in Asia. And the idea was I was supposed to go from Asia right to Australia and hit my Australian tour, but Beyond Wonderland was happening. And, we all sat together and said, okay, we can either cancel the Asian tour or cancel the Australian tour or just not do Beyond. And I was like, you know what, all 3 of them we have to do. So I went from Asia to San Francisco for one night, played the show. The next night, got back on a plane and flew all the way to Australia. So it still happens, of course, and it's pretty brutal. And to be honest with you, this is what separates the men from the boys. It's not. This isn't cut out. Not everybody's cut out for this, but you just do it. That's all you can do. People ask me like, how do you do it? And it's like, I don't know. When I look back at my schedule, sometimes I'm like, how did I survive that? I don't even know. But you just do it.
One of the bigger names that came out of Canada a couple years ago is Glenn Morrison. We did events together actually in Miami with him. Of late, there's been artists like Solid Stone out of Montreal. Are there others that you see that are Canadian that really kind of spark your interest?
Well, Solid Stone is number one on my list right now. I mean, he's always been very good, but the darker sound that he's touching up on now is fantastic. And I mean, I'm really feeling where he's going, and in full support of what he's doing. So I think for me right now, Solid Stone is the number one that I'm supporting from here in Canada.
Excellent. And tonight, what are we expecting from you? Do you have something that you want to really get out to play that you've heard, or maybe a classic track that kind of snuck into your head today earlier on, and you said, okay, you know what? I think maybe we can make it into the set tonight.
You know what I do have is I've got some of the new stuff that I've been working on the last couple of months on my laptop, in hotel rooms all over the world. For example, the new transmission theme, I want to play that tonight. My new single, Face Down, I want to play that tonight. I just think that I got an idea what I want to do, and it's really up to the crowd on how deep I can get. And if the crowd is up for it, it could get really interesting.
Well, if it's the same as last time you were here in Ottawa, it'll be a good one. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having me. Hi, I am Markus Schulz, and you are listening to Amplified Radio Presents. Hey, this is Markus Schulz, and this is Amplified Radio Presents.